I went in the Navy in 11 days out of high school in 1965. I got out in 1969,
69.
and then I went back in 1979. Actually, it was early 1980, and got out in 1983. Well, I was already got a place. I was going to Eastern Michigan University
Okay.
for pre-dental school.
Yeah.
And my folks had it all arranged and everything, pretty much.
Yeah.
Not totally firm, but then the Navy recruiter came to school, and he
Okay.
talked to me, and he said, "What's your plans?" I told him. He said, "Did you ever hear of a dental technician?" I said, "No." He said, "The Navy has a really good dental technician program.
Huh.
They'll send you to school. You can work as a dental technician. You can get your experience, see what it's like, and you can get out and go to the school with the GI Bill." I said, "Okay," so I signed up.
Oh, yeah.
I went in actually I was drafted
Huh.
into the Army. I thought I was going to the Army.
Yeah.
And my older brother, he was a National Guardist, my dad was all, you got to join the Guards, you got to join the Guards.
Yeah.
You know, Vietnam War's going on, you know. It was, well, in 70,
Oh, okay.
71 is when I went in.
Okay.
I went in February. I was still in high school. I
Okay.
went in with a friend of mine, Paul Humphrey.
Yeah.
We went in on the buddy plan. You go in with someone you know,
Yeah.
and we went in February. I can
And-
remember. And we went to Columbus, February.
Yeah.
We were still seniors in high school.
Huh.
And thinking, you know, hey, as soon as we're out of high school, we're gone. We're going to boot camp.
Yeah.
And Paul was with me for 2 weeks. I wake up one morning and this guy's gone. Well, I went through boot camp. I saw Paul Humphrey 2 years later in Atlanta, Georgia, in an airport, going to a plane.
Yeah.
Oh, what the heck? Where the heck have you been? Because he got sick.
Oh, I had a friend who says, "Let's just go down here and talk to these guys."
Uh-huh.
And we went, and she says, "I'm going to do it," because she didn't have a very good home life, and for her,
That'd be
this
perfect.
was going to be great. So I said, "Okay," and I'm always been one to I just do it. I never stop and think about anything. I just do it. So
Yeah.
I went with her. She ended up getting pregnant and never even made it, and I was stuck. I had to go.
So, what
I was a dental technician. I worked on the ship, and we was in Vietnam, and I also worked in Norfolk, Virginia at the Naval Dental Clinic.
Uh-huh.
And then later on, I worked on independent duty with a dental officer, and that was just me and him at Newport News Shipbuilding and Dry Dock. And we would work on crews of submarines that would come in for 6 months and out, and we'd do all their dental work. It was real good duty, just me and the doc.
Yeah.
After boot camp, I was going to training in Pensacola, Florida for communications.
Yeah.
And while I was toward the end of the boot camp, I called my folks. The field I was going into, I guess they have an FBI investigation of you for top secret clearance.
Yeah.
Because what I went into was in the communication field was we supplied materials that ships talk to each other. And my service for almost 4 years was in a concrete building surrounded by barbed wire fencing and Marine guards.
Really?
And
Did you
But
guys?
Buddy never made it.
She never
I
made
had
it?
to go by myself.
Oh, now you-
She got pregnant in between the time of us signing up and having to leave. We were like the third platoon of women to be on Fort Leonard Wood.
Oh, really?
And
Yeah.
so, there was only 2 other platoons of women
So
on
this is,
Fort
you said
Leonard
this is
Wood.
what, 78?
78. Our drill sergeant was like a father. And so after you've been there for a couple of weeks and you get your first liberty where you get to have the Sunday afternoon to go out and do whatever, he let all the guys go. And he wouldn't let us females go. He marched us down to a place they called Phone City, and that's where you could go down, make calls and pay for it. So we got to call home and we got to go to the PX for the first time and like buy a Coke and a candy bar, which we hadn't had in a couple of weeks. And then he marched us back and we didn't get to go out and run wild for the afternoon like the guys did.
Yeah.
And it took another week or two before that happened.
I went to the Philippines, to Hong Kong, Japan, Taiwan.
I was on Newport News for 2 hours in the Gulf of Tonkin, and we flew from Subic Bay in the Philippines on a helicopter, and you just see water everywhere I went. I flew. I was never on a ship other than we went in, gun turret blew up. We went in, removed the radio equipment, replaced everything, and then flew back out.
But see, the second time I was in, I was a signalman, and
Oh, really?
they don't even have those anymore.
See, I met my ex-husband. I met him. He was one of the medevac crews
Oh, yeah?
that I met on summer camp.
Yeah.
And so I was an Army wife after that for 10 years. And, you know, I still keep in touch with a lot of
Yeah.
people that, you
Gotcha.
know, we met over the years.
Oh yeah, we went into I always call it the bank vault because it had a door like a bank vault. I mean, it was huge,
Yeah.
and then all this material, it isn't open for anyone unless
Yeah.
you have the security clearance to
Yeah.
get in and work it. Well, we worked it, but that's what we communicated with. Our ships communicated. Now this was with the Navy. I don't know about the other branches, but this
Yeah.
was with the Navy. And this was every ship at sea, you use the materials to talk back and forth to the ships.
And
And
we're
if something's
constantly
compromised,
changing that,
you know, we get call on a Saturday morning to report, and we go report, and the next thing for the next 2 weeks, we're filling every ship that's in our detachment, in our area, would come in just like, I was in Norfolk, Virginia for almost 2 years. And every ship that was in that area would come, that's where they would come to get their information, and that was changed monthly. But if something happened, that something got compromised, then we would get called in immediately. Like one weekend that I know that we went in, and you know, we're constantly working the material, getting ready for each ship.
Sure.
And when the ensigns come in, and that's who usually came in to get the materials, and with their bodyguards, they would come in and we would get each ship. They come in by ship's name, and we would issue the materials. It means the camaraderie of everyone that you worked with. I mean, from boot camp on up through,
Yeah.
you just have certain guys that you click with.
You know, it just opened up the whole world to you.
Yeah.
As far as you kind of realize that everybody's the same. It doesn't
Mhm.
matter where they come from. Everybody's the
challenges.
same.
Yeah.
When I got to go to Adak, Alaska, that's on the Aleutian Islands,
Uh-huh.
and I got to go there and visit the place where my dad was at in World War II. He was a Railman, and they had an outpost place there where he was at one time in his
Huh.
Navy service. So that was one of the neatest things I got to do.